Welcome to the Fit Femme Project Alignment Podcast. It is here that we cultivate and gather all who have been through it in fitness, relationships, careers, lifestyle changes, and unforgettable crucial life pivots trying to achieve their most sovereign selves. We're here to provide you with thought-provoking, detailed stories and information from truly fascinating men and women from all walks of life, professions, generations, and modern-day sagas who speak to their rawest, darkest moments that made them the strong, decisive, humble, helpful, healing people that they are today. We ask them to hold nothing back because life is a multi-dimensional pursuit to be stronger, healthier, and more aligned mentally, emotionally, and physically. Let's go. Welcome back, FFP fam. Today we're sitting down with Coach Lindsey, Coach Nicole. Again, if you're watching us on video, please do, because we're pretty today.
We have on makeup.
Yeah, we have makeup on, and we're obviously still at our retreat here in Denver, trying to take advantage as much time with them as possible. Well, mostly Lindsey, because I see Nicole plenty.
Rude.
Just kidding. But no, I love taking advantage of the time that you guys are here because we have some great topics that we could talk about together. And the one that we want to dive into today is, again, more about travel since we're traveling. And Coach Lindsey is an active competitor, even though you're not on prep.
Yes.
Like extreme prep. And Coach Nicole, you used to compete, but you're not doing your lifestyle, you're not trying to get on a stage anytime soon.
Nope.
Or anything like that. But so you're basically just kind of going about it. So we wanted to talk about the differences in how two people like that with two majorly different lifestyles and goals would prepare for a trip as such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing I want to point out is Nicole and I are different, but we get along so well. Mm-hmm. And that is something that I think is important to us in the FFP is to not say, this is how you do things, or you're not doing it right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, I know what she's doing, she knows what I'm doing. It's respect for what works best for you right now. And that changes. So,
yeah.
But like you said, right now, I'm not prepping, meaning I'm not dieting, right? I'm in surplus for a little bit of maintenance, but because I do plan on competing, and I do have very specific goals right now, and I think that that's important. If you have specific goals, then you need a specific plan.
Right.
If your goals are kind of not dialed into really like numbers and bettering yourself from this experience that you've had, right? Like you don't know exactly what you're doing, you just know you want to look better and feel better. Mm-hmm. A lot of times you can have, especially in the beginning, you don't have to be so strict with numbers, because what I do is macro tracking, flexible dieting, not limiting what I eat, but always managing the amounts, basically, and hitting specific number goals, like a protein number, a carbohydrate number, and a fat number. And I like it. Like, I like the management style. I like planning that and then just executing my plan. And even like all these years into it, I still get proud of myself. Like, I'm on vacation. I hit all my numbers every day. It was easy. I had fun. I enjoyed every outing, every restaurant, donuts, cookies.
We gotta throw those
whatever else got brought into this house. Like, I never had to say no if I didn't want to.
Right.
So that to me is a beautiful trade-off for doing a little bit of pre-planning and entering into an app.
Absolutely. Yeah. What's the difference with you, Nicole?
Well, I think we all kind of, like for this trip, we all got to go shopping and find foods that we know work for us, our own hunger patterns that we know work for us when we're working out or after a workout, or that we know fill us up, that we know just taste good and that we want to eat. We were able to get that for ourselves. But the really cool thing is that we shared everything. But like Lindsey said, we never pushed anything on the other, on anyone else. Like, I would never,
Except
like
for
knowing.
Christine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Except for Christine won't let us eat fake sugar, but go ahead.
It's like, we're all aware of what the other is doing, what her goals are, and we are supportive in any way we can, but we're not going to like for me, for instance, like I don't eat dairy, like cheese, for instance. I can handle yogurt. I guess it's got to be 2% fat. I don't know.
Nothing higher.
It's not weird.
Yeah.
Nothing higher, but also the 0% I can't do. I don't understand why.
No. There's a whole thing about the combination of carb and fat.
Okay.
Being like a detonator in some people's gut. So that's why like creamy sauces a lot of times will just destroy you on pasta.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't need Italian food anymore because of that. It's just,
Oh no, what a tragedy.
I'm sorry. Eat it at home. It's fine.
You have a potty there that's safe.
Not for my husband who'd be in danger. I guess I can handle a little bit of cheese, but it's like I just try to stay as much away from the stuff that I know dairy-wise just does not work for me. But everyone else here is eating cheese, but none of you have said, "Oh, you need to put some Parmesan on your pasta the other night." None of you said that because
I would have said that, but I didn't know.
You just didn't know.
Yeah.
You would have got it. That's all.
Nicole put some damn cheese on that.
Little dang.
Actually, I think if you had known, you wouldn't have said it. You'd be like, "No, that's gonna upset her stomach."
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
everyone here is just kind and supportive like that. Like we aren't gonna get in each other. Like we're gonna support each other to our goals. Each other's goals. We're not gonna ever be an obstacle or get in the way of each other's goals.
Right.
But that's the cool thing about being here.
Yeah.
I told Matt that. He was like, "What are you already doing in bed on a girls' trip?" I'm like,
Everyone else
is in bed. It's 9 o'clock. We're all in bed because we're all getting up, and there's always a group going to the gym. There's a group working with bands outside. There's a group journaling.
Yeah.
But everybody is just kind of in sync that way, and that is not normal, but it's nice.
Yeah, you know
Once a
what I
year.
really have appreciated on this trip is that you early birds who are getting up at the ass crack of dawn, going to the gym, that mostly Casey's not jumping on me to get out of bed and come with us. They're like, Caitlin, let's go, come on. I'm like, that's just not me, so I appreciate that.
Get up.
Even though you probably, if you were meaner, Lindsey, you probably would have
Well, I would have
been like, Caitlin,
if I would have been
go.
willing to wait on you to go, and I was not. But I'm not going
Oh.
to tell a grown lady when they got to wake up.
Yeah, I'm a grown lady.
Ish.
So, yeah, ish. As far as how you two specifically prepped for this trip, whether it was like mentally or just literally like what you're bringing with you, like what was that like?
Okay.
Give it here.
Thank you.
There you go. Wait, it went back. There we go.
It's okay. I have a cowlick on the left side of my head that just goes up like this. No matter what I do to
And
it,
your
it just
hair
like
turned weird. Yeah.
yeah.
You have a badass comb over.
That'd be yeah. This is also my bald spot. Sorry, this is for the people on the video. Sorry, but anyway,
I gotta get there.
so how I prepped was how I prepped is based on what my background and how many years I've been doing this, and I think I've mentioned before, like in other podcast episodes, like I used to binge eat, so I've done so much research over the years, and I've done so much work on finding my own patterns and healing from and moving on from and learning how to deal with things that used to trigger me in the past, and learning how to not be so triggered, like 'cause, you can't control everything. It's like, so learning all of that, I have learned that for me, for instance, I know my hunger patterns during the day. I'm like, for instance, I'm hungriest in the mornings around 6:30. There's no matter what I do, 6:30, even if I eat late at night the night before or not, like 6:30 every morning, like my hunger just like shoots through the roof. And coffee doesn't suffice. I need some food. So, and I always have some protein and fat. And then a few hours later, around 10 o'clock,
God, it's your second meal already.
well, yeah, but around 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
like I'll have another, like, it's basically going to be lunch for me. And then I'm hungry again between like 1 and 2. And then at 4 o'clock, I'm hungry again. But that's the last time. Suddenly my hunger just stops. And so I know that pattern for me. And so I have learned over the years to find foods that help me work with my hunger and with my schedule so that I'm able to have an awesome day and not be low on energy because I'm starving myself or anything, or making sure that I'm preparing foods and having foods that I like. So I always know that if I have a protein 4 times a day at each of those hunger peaks for me, I have a great day. And so I went shopping for foods that I know work for me. Like I know if I have yogurt once a day, yogurt's so good for my gut. And where I am in life, I'm trying to learn so much about the connection between the gut and the brain, and food and the gut and the brain. So I like adding sauerkraut if I can to my foods, definitely yogurt. So being on a trip, I was like, I'm not going to stock up on sauerkraut and all these like random things that I have in my
we'd be
fridge at
10 feet
home.
away from that breath.
Exactly. So it's like, but the yogurt for sure. So I have yogurt, I have fruit, egg or chicken. I've been eating Caitlin's eggs.
I've been eating your watermelon.
Okay,
so
good.
it works.
Yeah, I got watermelon, like vegetables. I keep my food simple, but I keep them, they're so filling, and for me, that's what works for me. So because I know that pattern so well about myself, that's what helped me buy the foods that I needed for this trip, and buy foods in amounts that I'd be happy with sharing it with everyone, and that I knew everyone was going to eat, like chicken, for instance.
Right.
So that's how
Are you tracking? Like, how much are you tracking?
So I eat kind of the same foods, just in different, like,
Forms?
yeah, so like I'll eat, like if lunch is going to be a protein, a vegetable, and a starch, it'll switch between quinoa and a sweet potato, or green beans and zucchini, or chicken and steak. Like the fat content will change, or the carb content will change, or the protein amount that could change a little bit, but calorie wise overall it's kind of the same.
Okay.
And so I have an idea.
And you've tracked for so long that it's
Yeah.
kind of like,
Yeah.
second nature to you.
That's what intuitive eating is.
Yeah, we just talked about that.
Yeah.
That's the actual version of intuitive
And it
eating.
took you a couple of years to really nail it down this specifically. I mean, I'm impressed.
I'm impressed too. I don't do it.
But it's like but because I've tracked it too, I can look at a plate, and because I've learned to like eat more slowly and not order foods that kind of bloat me, so I'm distracted, and so I keep eating because it's like I'm trying to get rid of the bloat somehow. I don't know if anyone else does that, but it's like I know my body so well, and I know foods and amounts so well that I can just eyeball it, and I know that I'll be within range of my maintenance, which is what I'm trying to do right now.
Oh, okay, just maintenance.
Yeah,
Maintaining.
and I track my food when it's convenient for me, when I'm at home or when I'm preparing food at the house to leave, but I don't bring a food scale or measuring cups to the restaurants.
Yeah, no.
But again, I think I'm pretty good at it. Like it's been enough time and enough years that I'm very conscious of the added fat that's in restaurant food.
Well, plus your like professional background in general.
Yeah,
Like, you were just talking about this at lunch, like how much you know what goes on behind the scenes at restaurants.
And Rosetta too. Like
that
we've
should
been
be-
back there. It's
That should be its own episode, just
it's
so
better
people
and
are
worse
aware.
than you think. Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And we are all special in God's eyes, but at a restaurant, they're turning tables. We'll talk about that on another. But yeah, I'm not breaking out. And to be fair, this is part of that conversation. I don't even do the deal where I'm like, don't put any oil on mine.
Yeah.
I'll order sauce on the side.
Yeah.
Or
It's about
dressing on the side.
as much control you can have,
Or say no
right?
cheese.
Yeah.
But maybe they're not cooking your chicken dry. That's not how it works back there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can, and to me, like we were talking about, like if you are that serious about tracking stuff, bring your food. I've done that before too in prep, and it's also fine. Like it's not a big deal. Nobody's going to toss the party out because you broke out of Tupperware.
So how did you, like, what did you bring with you on the plane? You didn't
I
bring
even
anything?
forgot my food scale. I've had to borrow Rosetta's the whole time. I mean, I brought, and I noticed this too about every single one of us. If we're going to be away from the house for like a significant period of time, like more than 2 hours, there's not a person here that doesn't pack up a snack.
That's
it's like
true.
a big mini van of toddlers.
Yeah.
Like we don't know we'll get cranky, but that's a learned behavior. That's a habit that we don't even notice anymore. Because there was a time in my life where I'd be like, well, I'm just going to starve. I'm just going to be hungry. Well, how well does that go?
Or you just are too, I guess, shy or afraid to like speak up. Be like, are we getting food anytime soon?
Or just not like realistic with what I'm going to require. Like I'll be like, well, I'll just, it's 12 right now and they want to eat at 6. I don't feel like getting anything. I'll just wait till 6. Girl. No, you're not. Or if you do, it's going to be like an eating contest. Like that my hunger levels have adapted to eating well and eating often. And I think that's a good point, like digestion on your trip. A good rule of thumb And this is something when I feel like my digestion is off. If I've eaten a meal that's too heavy in fat is the leading culprit of that, because fat slows down digestion, right? That's kind of one of its roles.
Yeah.
And so if trying to keep on track with digestion and make sure that you're estimating kind of what your intake is properly, you should get hungry about every 3 hours. If you're eating good, like a balance of proteins, carbs, and fats, and everybody is happy and going through at an appropriate rate.
Yeah.
Proteins and fats, of course, take longer to go through than carbs. They absorb pretty quickly. But that 3 hour rule, if you're wondering if your meals are an appropriate size, I like using that. It's just like a little test stick. Like, am I hungry about every 2.5 to 3.5 hours? Like, give yourself a range. Right? Don't put a timer on.
Yeah.
But like, could I eat something? Am I ready? Does my stomach feel empty, basically?
Right. And that's the start of intuitive eating, right? That's the way to start, like, paying attention to your body. Like, I know I'm hungry every couple of hours, and I hate being hungry right before bed. So if I need to finish up my last of my protein, I'll just do that. Even on the car on the way back from lunch, I'm like, I'm hungry. I was saying that.
Too.
Yeah. I mean, we were out for a little longer than just a lunch outing, but I'm like, I'm hungry.
Well, but let's revert back. Why would you be hungry? Is it because you just eat some like chips and guacamole, but then like you had a small little steak.
Yeah, and some rice.
And some rice.
I thought the steak would be bigger.
It was long.
It was very thin. It was like that thin.
But it was that long.
It was like that. You were sitting next to me. How long was it?
Well,
how much do you think that thing weighed cooked?
We just talked about it.
Yeah.
Close to, I think, around 5 ounces.
Split the middle.
You said 4 earlier.
I think 6.
Between 4 and 6.
Okay. Well, anyway, the way I am not a competitor, for those of you who already knew. It's obvious.
No, it's not.
Well, based off of what I
true.
talk about.
Oh, yeah, it's not obvious though, but carry on.
Physique-wise, maybe
It's your
not.
podcast, so say what you want, but no.
No, it's our podcast.
Okay.
Anyway, so it's definitely changed for me over the years with how I prepare for a vacation and just not being like so overwhelmed with what am I going to do? Like before, obviously, I started all my goals and all this. You just willy-nilly, right? You just do whatever. You don't think about it.
Yeah, but
That's how I was. Well, that's how pretty much everybody
The
is.
theme for you this weekend is look how far you've come. You're the Dr. Seuss book.
I am. So, like now, this trip or any other trips, I just dump my protein powder into a Ziploc bag because, like, I'll know. And I've gotten over the hump of drinking it with water because I've had to have that moment with myself where it's like, just drink it.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Everything doesn't have to be like this, like, amazing thing that touches your tongue. And I have plenty of meals that are very satisfactory and make me happy. It doesn't have to be everything. So I'll just dump my protein in my little Ziploc. And I did bring a little extra this bit. I mean, obviously brought my protein bars for when we're out those couple of hours. And then I bought at the store, obviously protein is always
It's the hardest thing to get your hands on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I made sure I had my big tub of, I found the protein specific Oikos, so it was normal.
I've seen those. Those are super high in protein.
Yeah, like 25 grams.
Yeah.
So I had, to finish the tub for one, I had a serving and a half. It was like 250 grams. It was like 3 or 4 servings. Just whonker. So like when I know that when I'm out on vacation or even just the weekends, if I just stack my protein goal at the beginning of the day more than I normally would throughout the week, then I'm not so overwhelmed at like 7 o'clock. Like, oops,
Yeah.
90 grams of protein left.
Yeah.
Just when I was looking at mine, I was like, bah.
And then I just ate like 150 grams of fat. Like, what did you do?
Yeah. What have you? And that is like when it's so imperative to plan the best you can.
Yeah.
Like look up those restaurants and just pop them in and get a good idea. And if you want to track on vacation, I think there are ways, and Rose and I were talking about this a little bit earlier, there are ways to, because we've eaten out every day. I don't eat out every day at home. I eat out once a week, maybe twice if it's like a holiday weekend or like we're at the lake or something.
Yeah.
But we're just doing normal stuff. So a good way too is like if I track full macros, which means I have a protein number, a carb number, and a fat number that add up to calorie number. But it's also completely acceptable to let the kind of the pressure off that a bit.
Yeah.
And one way is to hit that protein goal because that's that's going to be your number one macro priority anyway.
Yeah.
And then just stay in your calorie range, plus or minus 100 calories. No big deal, no harm done. And it also gives you again that freedom to eat out and accept that it is just covered in. Their job is to make it taste good. That's their job. Your diet is not their job.
Fat makes things taste great.
And fat makes taste. They want you to be like,
and salt.
This was the best grilled chicken I've ever had. It was magical. Well, let me tell you why. But that's their thing.
Yeah.
Right? So just know that and be like, it's okay it's easier to control how much bread you eat out of the basket than it is how much the cook is putting on your food in the back.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So you control what you can control, and that would
leave it at that.
It's great. That's a great way to track on a trip.
Yeah, and I think people put too much pressure on themselves. So like, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I just realized, like, I think one reason why we've all had such a great time on this trip, and I am speaking for everyone, but I'm pretty sure
You can
everyone's had
speak
a
for
great
me.
time.
I agree with that.
Yeah, is we kind of tying in with what Lindsey said kind of earlier on was we're not making ourselves, she's not eating something at noon and then waiting till 6, right? So we prioritize not under eating on this trip. None of us. Like we make sure that we are, because we want to make sure that we are, like I said, have energy and are eating all the food we bought, but also like our goals are important to us. So there's no way any one of us is going to, like, because we've been there before, like where we've done the, eat at noon, wait several hours till everyone goes out to, we know how that does
That's
not work out.
That's how people live, though.
Yeah.
Like when you're not with the fem on a retreat, you're the person eating pasta out your pocket. Yeah. Right? Sorry, inside joke.
It's so funny.
It's so funny. But it's just when you go out and people are like, eat lunch, and then they eat dinner, and you're just like,
that's it.
Bruh.
No, but it's like
I'm not trying to die on this island.
But no one's had a ruined vacation from the very first night because they blew it because they were trying to, starve themselves all day and then couldn't control it at night. No one's had that. It's been a perfect day for everyone every single day.
Aw, I agree with that.
I agree with that too.
Yeah, I remember when I first started getting coaching when I was with Coach Zoe. I just kind of started to remember these memories of how I was when I was on vacation and what she coached me to do, because I had never tracked before all this, and it's scary to people because they think, when you start tracking, you got to do it on vacation, that all this restriction, it's stressful, I'm not going to enjoy myself, all those things. So prior to being coached, I didn't have a worry in the world. Right? Vacations never stressed me out. Are you kidding me? But then when being coached, I'm like, okay, well, I don't want, obviously, my money to go to waste, and I want to be successful. So since I was brand new, newbie, going on a vacation, she said, don't track at all, but just be mindful of what, you're putting on your plate. So obviously make protein the priority, and then have it, just kind of sectioned out, and just let that be get your water in, make sure you get your water, and then just prioritize protein, and that's all you got to do. I'm like, okay. And that was like the most perfect place to start, because I could still say yes to, the chicken enchiladas, or something like that. So I think people listening, that if you're a brand new beginner, or if you have trouble on vacations, like that is just like a simple way to go about it. And it really is that simple. It doesn't have to be like so complicated or stressful, right?
No, and I mean, it's just, it gets to a point where people are stressed, but also feel like they can't enjoy themselves unless they completely go bananas.
Yeah.
Right? That's a mental place you have to get. So having somewhere to start like that is, no, I'm not doing this. I'm going to try to eat protein every time I eat a good amount. And I'm going to try and eat a fruit and vegetable 2 or 3 times a day, and focus on other things besides nutrition, because I do feel like that is the most overwhelming on a trip.
Yeah.
Right? no one, like, working out, people don't, do people stress about working out on trips?
I don't, obviously. Yeah, you've seen me.
Yeah. I don't stress out because I will just work out if I want to. But
Right.
it doesn't stress, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's not stressful. But, again, I saw them out there doing a band workout that
I did work out.
I would rather lift. That looked really hard.
I did not like it.
You're welcome. That was my idea.
It was. But I was like, it'd be good to get a little movement in. But this altitude, like...
I almost died.
We did so much cardio yesterday. Loud of mercy. I think we accidentally walked like 2.5 miles.
It felt like much more.
ton of steps in, though. Fudge. I was going to say something, and it was really good. Brr.
About traveling, about
stressing about working
trekking.
out.
stressing
Oh,
about-
yeah. So it was about, obviously, traveling, because that's what we were talking about. But obviously, people are not going to be on a trip with people who have all their same goals in mind. So I think what has helped me over the years, and it just has naturally evolved because my goals got more and more important to me. Like I've never been a cold turkey person. Like today is the day that I'm going to do this, and it's just like that. I am not like that.
Yeah.
So over the past couple of years, what's helped me is like I've learned that I need to be a lot more assertive about it, like being on a trip, for example, with my family or my friends or wherever. Being more assertive that, hey, I'm going to go to the grocery store, or I'm going to bring my snacks with me, and
Or even requesting that you get an Airbnb
yeah,
instead of a hotel.
yeah.
So that you have the opportunity to have protein sources.
Yeah, and it's okay
Make
to
your own couple meals a
stand
day.
up for yourself. Yeah, do those things and bring your snacks. And you know what? You're going to be the snack lady, and people will thank you.
You're going to be popular is what you're going to be. Yeah. You got pasta in your pocket? You're the head girl in the group.
I forgot we said we were going to do that. You should have done it. But yeah, that was like one thing that reminded me that I've just become more assertive over the years. And even when I travel back home to family for the holidays, like my mom she eats really healthy, but I'll just say, hey Mom, can you pick up a couple extra of this or that, and then I'll go to the store to get, because I don't want to pay for everything. Mom should still take care of you, right?
I don't know. Ask me in a few years.
Like, Mom, can you just if you're gonna like one time she was at Costco I was on the phone with her just already. And I was coming up on a trip, and I was like, oh, can you grab a couple of those, like, protein shakes that I like that are from Costco?
Yeah.
She's like, uh-huh. I'm like, thanks.
Like, do you mind if I take the rest home with me, too?
Yeah. Look. So just, like, being assertive in that way. And it takes time, but, like, that help yourself, right?
And I think, too, like, it does, I do feel for the younger girls. Because, I like my age, people my age, they usually, not always, but don't want to stay up late eating crap and getting trashed because the recovery, is months. No. Like more than one day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you gotta feel like bad way longer than you feel good and happy.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah, it is. Like, you don't shake off a hangover or a bad gut in 24 hours after a period of time. I'm sure it's different from everybody, but dang.
Yeah.
And kind of along lines with your assertiveness, like, you remember, I don't know, maybe, I feel like maybe this has dropped off over the years. But I feel like when I was younger and we would have family come visit us, like, my parents would always call that family and say, hey, what would you like in the house? What can we have here?
I
ready
think
for
that's
you?
cultural because Mark's mom does the same thing. Like, she will call him, like, I'm going grocery shopping for you and Caitlin.
Yeah.
My mom, or Mark will just be like, what do you want? I'm like, no one's ever asked me that before.
Whatever you have. Yeah, that's what I like.
That's true, because my mom would call. We were living in, overseas in Latin America, and that's when we did it most. You're right. Okay, it must be like this South American.
It's that hospitality of South Americans, you guys. Oh,
yeah, but it's like that's
you can learn from that.
Yeah, but that's something that to kind of, if you want to have a little more. Make sure that you have a few more choices available to you when you're visiting family or even friends. Like, you can bring your own stuff. You just got to decide, and be honest and say, hey, listen, this is what, tell the people that you're with, say, this is what I would like to eat because it feels really good to me. It's what helps me. And more than not, I promise you, people will be like, that's great, thank you. I'm so glad that you are going to feel good while you're staying with us.
But people
true.
get used to it. It's a ripping off the Band-Aid thing.
Yeah.
Like, no one blinks an eye if I pop out a Tupperware at, like, when we're hanging out with our friends. Mm-hmm. Nobody cares. They're used to it. They'll get used to you, too.
They'll get used to it. Yeah. That's true. Again, I was going to say something, but I kind of forgot.
It's been a while. It's been an active week.
Yeah, because I think of what I want to say, but I obviously don't want to interrupt. But that's it. Oh, you know what I've done? What?
Go ahead.
I've been in situations before where it's like I have this like thing that, you know, when someone's asking me like, oh, what do you want? How do you want this prepared or whatever? And if I'm like too embarrassed, I'll just make up an ailment. Or just so I don't get any questions. Be like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll be sure to leave this out of that. Or we'll be sure to
like you say you're allergic to stuff?
Yeah, I'll just be like, you know what, red meat. Or like, this is not true, but like, oh, I can't do steak today because, and I really want the chicken because it's less in fat, right? I'll just be like, oh, you know, red meat's really screwing my gut lately. They're really, okay, we'll get some chicken. You know? Just lie, guys.
You know, I've done that.
That's a secret?
Yeah. No, I've done that where I would, I can't remember exactly where, but I would say something like, oh, you know, I'm not feeling well, so I can't, you know, I need to stay away from this. But then I realized because I didn't eat that, I felt better. And then the next time I'd be with the same people, I'd be like, you know, last time we had this and this ingredient wasn't included, I felt so good. And then they, you know, but I wasn't saying, oh, but I had this illness, so I can't eat that thing again. So I'm like, I just, like, I'll say, hey, like, you know, I actually felt really good because I did. Yeah. But it's like, then it kind of helps them learn more about my body and what feels good to me. But like, I know for me at least, I would want to know that about my friends and family.
That's
but
just
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But that's a good idea to, like, you know.
And it helps you stay accountable because you lied and now everyone's paying attention and you have to.
Yep, can't let that mask slip off.
Nope. That pride. Woo. So, you know, sometimes I'll back myself in a corner like that. I'm like, if I just do this to myself, I know I'll have to, like, do this, and that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, we got all the tips and tricks.
One thing I'll say with, like, we were talking about, do people stress out with working out? What I like to recommend, and what I've done here is, I did, depending on how long you're going to be gone, I say if it's, like, a week or less, I say, you know, if you're going to be active in general, like hiking and walking, and maybe getting to a gym isn't accessible, or if you even don't want to, that's totally fine. But I do suggest if you're going to be anywhere for longer than a week, like maybe around 2 weeks, I'd say, no, you know, you got to get some workouts in. But a week off, I kind of take it, especially if they haven't traveled in, like, say, a few months, that can be like a deload week in a way, where they're just kind of giving their body a break. So, that's how I like to view trips, is like, even for me, like, I won't work out, but I will be active. Like, I will get 10,000 plus steps in regardless. But because I know that works for me and my body really likes it, because I'm not stressing about the workout, so I'm not, like, that stress doesn't spill into other parts of my day.
Yeah.
And I won't overeat or I won't undereat, and then be, like, it's just so much more even keel for me if I just make sure I'm active.
The noise is quiet.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think, like, so like I said, that's what I did this week, and I'll be leaving again Friday.
Yeah.
We're going to Cancun. I'm going to make sure we walk. We're going to walk on the beach, which is going to be, you know, working on your balance. If we work out, that's going to be a bonus, but I doubt it.
You're going to work on your balance? Like, literally?
No, when you're walking on the beach, like, walking on the sand. I know what you're going to
do.
Do we need a pause?
Please, can you do it? I gotta go. And I just looked at the clock and it was 13 minutes. I was like, oh no.
Oh. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. It was an emergency. Lindsay's skinnier. It's amazing how much we know about each other's bathroom schedules.
We have 2 bathrooms.
Bowels.
Necessary.
But you know what? That is a necessary part of your health.
Digestion's important. Don't hold it. It's bad for you.
Don't hold it. Don't be embarrassed.
We cheer each other on, actually.
Yeah, we get worried about the ones that aren't going as much as we think they need to.
The poor babies over there. Rosetta. You know what? I know. That is actually, okay, kind of on our little topic of...
Yeah.
Some people have problems going.
A lot of people have
while
problems
traveling.
traveling. And I think it's two things.
Okay.
I think it is traveling, especially far where you're flying.
Mm-hmm.
Flying is just kind of rough on your system. The longer your flight is, the more you're going to be dehydrated. You're probably not drinking as much water because it sucks so bad peeing.
Yeah.
In an airport, on an airplane, gross. Nobody, I don't like that. I mean, I have to. Oh my god, if it's more than like a 3-hour flight, I'm in.
It's happening.
But I do think that people drink less water. I think they drink more caffeine on days when you travel because, you know, you're just grabbing little starbs while you're in the airport after you've already had your 2 cups of coffee or whatever your normal is. And you're just a little bit more stressed.
That's
right,
true.
your cortisol is going to be higher regardless, even if it's a beautiful location, somewhere you absolutely wanted to go. Your system is not calm, and that peristalsis kind of seizes up when your body is, that cortisol level elevates and your body is just kind of on high alert.
Yeah, you're not in that rest and digest.
Right.
Rest and digest.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if you're not like literally stressed, your body is.
Stress is, and stress
That may
is-
not be the right word, right?
No, it is.
Okay.
Stress is not a bad thing, and it's not avoidable. And I think kind of we villainize stress a little bit more than we should, and acting like if you have stress, that's bad.
Yeah.
No. Stress just exists. It's like if it stops your body from functioning properly, or your mind from functioning properly, then it's not good. It's not beneficial. But if we were never stressed, we wouldn't do too much.
It just wouldn't exist,
Right.
I mean, like, anywhere you go, like Lindsey said, even if it's paradise, like, you're going to need a day or two to get used to, like, if you're going somewhere where they don't speak, like, you don't speak their language, or you're in a new environment, you don't know the laws, or you don't know the street names, like, you're going to be on alert, paying attention to things. If you have kids, if you're with family, like, you're trying the first couple days, I would say, trying to gather your bearings so that you feel comfortable enough to let down your guard to actually enjoy vacation. But the first couple days, first day for sure, I don't think is going to be that way. That's why the stress is up and you're not in that rest and digest, and you just are kind of bloated and constipated until you can just relax again.
Well, and I have a couple things that work well for me.
Because you used to have issues.
From college
up
until not very long ago, like a few years or so ago.
Okay, so you figured it out.
I just thought that, I had to do a lot of work I hated. But I just thought that's kind of how it was. I was
That's just not how your body is.
I just don't poop every day. I didn't feel bad. I didn't really feel yucky or bloated all the time.
Yeah.
That I didn't. I just walked around farting and miserable all my whole life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just was what it was. But when I wanted to prep, Casey is so focused on these baselines, right? In the interest of the human beings that are her clients.
Yeah.
And so and she was like, well, we got to get this straight now. I was like,
really?
bro, why? I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't care about that poo-poo. Okay. But anyway, we did get it, and it was fiber goals, and it was water, and I even started a couple supplements that have worked really well for me that are they're not any kind of laxative at all. There's fiber and vitamins.
Okay.
And something that works really well for me on vacation is, like we were talking about, the rest and digest. If you normally poop, like say in the morning, even if you have to get up a little bit earlier than you would prefer, get up and do that. Get up and drink your water with your electrolytes. I'm talking about myself. I drink a liter of water every morning with electrolytes in it.
Oh, that salt water I drank earlier?
Yeah, that's good.
The other day?
Well, you drink it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use Element. There's lots of different brands. But I drink a liter every day. And then, after I have that liter of water in, with movement.
That
So
gets
walking.
the works
And then I
going.
drink a cup of coffee. You know, I try to stay on track and keep my, especially my normal morning meal time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas used to, on vacation, I would, almost intermittent fast.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We're like, well, I'm not going to eat all morning. I'm not super hungry in the mornings, usually. Sometimes,
Yeah, me either. I have to wait at 2 hours or so.
I can't, but that's not my hungry time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Where I'm like, my stomach's...
Yeah.
But I just try to keep everything the same around those times. that helps a ton.
Oh, interesting. It's like so simple, but yet
Yeah,
it takes time
instead
to
of
figure
like
it out.
waking up 30 minutes before you're supposed to be on your excursion, or we're wasting daylight, let's get on the beach, that kind of deal. Because again, you throw yourself into that fight or flight kind of go.
Yeah.
Which we've done some of that here. But our
little bit.
mornings, I have noticed that everybody here is kind of doing, like, Nicole's always on the back porch journaling. Christine's in that corner doing her Bible thing, her devotion. And then we're up, like, getting ready for the gym, making coffee, like, doing kind of the same, like,
Caitlin's in bed.
Caitlin's sleeping.
Sleeping.
But you get up your normal time here. You don't sleep late.
No, I don't. I mean, it's late Central Time, but it's regular time here. I slept a little longer today because I didn't want somebody to pressure me to go to the gym if they saw me out. But my bladder was like,
Put on your
bitch,
stretchy
get
pants
up.
and let's go.
I'll say actually this was the best vacation I have been on in terms of my regularity, and it's been different, but it's also been the best because I know my body so well, and like you know, Lindsey's saying, it's like, you know, you work with your body. Like when we left the airport, I used to in the past just like get protein bars and coffee. But this time, when we travel in the morning, I got eggs, like a whole egg and fruit, because fortunately in my airport they offer that. I didn't get any coffee. I just stuck with water. I stuck with my body's schedule, the closest I ever have on that first day.
Yeah.
So by the next morning, like the travel, let's just say it got out of me in the bathroom, and I felt incredible.
Relieved.
That's the fastest.
Whole new
But it was like within 24 hours that happens. Never happened that fast for me before.
Wow.
And you just stick with the basics. You know, we definitely got enough sleep that night. I drank all my water. In fact, I think I drank a little bit more because I was nervous about not getting in enough water. And then
I did too because I had a little bit of a headache, and I was like, the
yeah.
altitude.
Yeah. And so it was
Altitude.
just making just sticking with the basics. So it always works.
Yeah, you know, I've never had problems in this department.
You are super fabulously regular.
Whether or not well, you know, when I'm on a road trip, I can shut it down.
Really?
Yeah, I was telling you that the other day, where it's like we were driving to Colorado Springs, and everyone had their like 2 liters of water by the time we got on the road. I'm like, not today. Nope, I am not going to be the one to, can we stop and pee? My twin brother was like that. We'd stop and go to the bathroom, and then like 10 minutes later,
Would he say he didn't need to go?
I don't remember that, but we were always stopping because of my brother. And we were so
thimble
mad.
bladder.
And I was like, I will not be the wrath of my family if I have to go pee or poo.
Yeah.
So when it comes to road trips, I think it's just because of my upbringing that my brain and my body from all the trauma.
You're like, no, I'm going to win this trip.
Yeah, all the trauma. You do not stop unless it's an emergency. Only stop to pee, not number 2. God forbid.
My family stops so much.
I'd be so annoyed. Now I will probably be that parent.
I get annoyed when it's like back to back. And that's why when we stop, like, I don't care if there was one drop. Those kids are going to the bathroom.
They're going to the potty.
Yeah, and I don't, I'm not much of a force peer in normal life, but gas stations, gross. Like, don't make me keep going to gas stations, please.
I'm doing this for your own good. That's so cute. But yeah, so that's kind of like our vacation tips.
Yeah,
Right,
so
guys?
it's mindful eating, movement, water, focus on digestion, and keeping somewhat to your morning routines that work for you and your overall health as closely as you can.
Yeah, and protein.
Supporting each other.
Supporting each
Yeah,
other.
don't be a jerk.
Don't be a jerk. Definitely. But yeah, and it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have
To
to be
yourself
stressful.
or others. Don't be a jerk to yourself or to somebody else.
Oh yeah, don't do that. Well, anyway, thanks for listening in, guys. We have so much more coming up, so stay tuned for that. And again, see us in the Facebook groups, please. Until then, peace out. Bye. Thanks for listening to the FFP Alignment Podcast. Please support us by downloading, rating, and recommending us to your friends and family. Be sure to check us out on Instagram at the FitFem Project. That's FITFEMME
Project. And for those of you looking to find their essential balance of lifestyle and fitness, book a free consult by going to thefitfemproject.com. That's FITFEMME project.com and click apply now. Until next time, this is the FitFem Project Alignment Podcast.